Okay, so this next video is going to be talking about layering acrylics. I've done a quick video on working with acrylics and so forth, but I got a request asking to make a video about how to get white markings so clean and so crisp and all that. So what you're going to need is you're going to need like a little kitty dish or something like this, a teaspoon of water. So this is a little bit too much for my liking. A teaspoon of water, and then you're going to need some white acrylic base. Now there's lots of different whites. There's like wicker white, there's plain old white, there's titanium white, and sometimes you just have to go with a white that you can find because some places only carry one white. And then you just go ahead and you just take your white paint and you glob it into the water there. Now you want the paint as thick as milk. So if you need to, you can run upstairs and look and say, oh yeah, you know, and just go with the flow and figure it out. So you can see here, see how this is all kind of liquidy and stuff. It's not super thick and it's not super thin. Okay, now I've got two models here I'm going to demonstrate on. This one here, which I've been working on, which you can see, he's coming along pretty good. I'm planning on trying to get him finished this week because my show is coming up fast. So I need to get him done. So this is kind of a good thing because I can show you guys what to do. So you're going to need like a very thin round brush. I prefer round just because they have a longer edge to them. And they're more clean. Now, don't use cheap brushes for this because if you use cheap brushes are usually made out of horsehair or bull hair or something like that, and it's too coarse. So you want something either synthetic or you want something that's more soft. Soft brushes do a better job in lots of ways. So you just slowly go over the area with the paint and make sure to spread it out. Now, normally, if you spread this out slowly, it will not show brush strokes. But just remember to use a soft brush and work with what size you feel comfortable with. So if you have a big model and you don't feel comfortable using a giant brush, go with a little brush and just take your time and slowly work over this like this. Okay, so you got it like that now. Do his little face here. And then after your layer dries, you want to go outside and spray the horse with your matte finish. This seals off the acrylic layer so that you can put another layer on top so it won't be all kind of gooey and funky and all that as you layer more layers. Because if you layer layers and keep layering it without spraying it, there is a chance that it will get worse and worse and worse because of the chemical compound. Now this guy here I'm working on as a commission. And you can see here I've started to do the same thing. So you just basically do the same thing with this. You just run over the area with your acrylic base. Water-based substance thing, milk, and just go over the area. Now, it's going to take a lot of layers. It's better to layer in very thin layers than it is to layer in giant, large layers just because it hurts the model and you can see brush strokes and all that. So now this applies for if you want to doing a whole horse, like let's say a bay. The best thing to do is you do the same thing. You layer your acrylics, and as you layer your acrylics, spray it every time, okay, and go from there. Because generally, you know, acrylics are not one of the best thing to work in. I like to call them a substitute media because they're not the best media in the world to be working with just because they're very hard to work with if you don't get them right. They cause problems and all that. So I like to use them as a substitute media for filling in like white areas or doing tests with, you know, things like that. So basically this is all you do, and once he dries then you go and you spray him. Now, I know that there's some people who want to make them dry faster, so they go and they put the hair dryer on them or something, but that's not the smartest idea to do. The reason why is because some areas, if you have the paint a little more globbed on, that area will dry quicker, while the other area where it needs maybe a little more work, it'll dry slower, and then it'll leave a bubble, which is not good. So then you take your model and you set them over and you let them dry. So that's basically how you work with acrylics as well and white markings. So I hope that video helped. If you have any further questions, let me know.